Hey guys, new video here. Still getting asked a lot what my Atlas points are. We've had a few days to play around with the Atlas trees. Most people have a few points on their Atlas. Almost no one has, I'm sure, 10 points in every zone yet, but it has been a really fun time, and I want to make this video for anyone asking what are your Atlas points, because I will eventually provide a picture of with little circles of what I went when all 10 points are complete. So if you don't care about reasoning or anything like that, you can just look at the pictures and copy that if you want, or kind of figure out how it compares to what you want to go. But for this, I think it's actually kind of important because early league's very, very different from late league, right? Because think about the trades you might ignore later on, the masters you might ignore later on, the map mechanics. So this one's going to be, why did I pick it? How has it changed from my original video, which was before the league even started? And we'll start, I guess we'll start at the bottom right. Okay, we'll go to the top left, I guess. So, and I'll kind of try to give some tidbits on how they perform in maps, how they feel, and if they work or not, right? Because sometimes you don't know if these things work or how they work. So I'll try to talk a little bit about that too, but I'll try to keep the video rather short. So in here, Lyra, Artane, do some decent maps in here. But I went with the breaches, okay? And breaches are good because every map is 10% additional. I don't know what the base chance is. I don't think anybody does, but breaches are fun. If it's near a ritual, that's great because you have to do the ritual anyways. So if you open the breach and the ritual, you're not actually wasting any more time in the breach. So it feels a lot better this league. With around 4 rituals spread around the map, you can always tag it with a breach. It might cut off a little bit of it, but I think breaches are really, really good this league. They feel a lot better after those small changes they made a few leagues ago. So I took this just to have more of them. And then the little nodes right here, if you see, that's just more XP. It's not really more monsters, but more XP is really, really good this league, especially for offhand gems and just for your character leveling. Flash breach. Okay, so this is the second one I took, and the reason I took this is because rare monsters are just crazy. They drop way more, maybe 50 times more loot than a white monster, and having rares later on down the road for mixing it with Beyond, mixing it with your Headhunter and all this Inspire Learning, so you want to go that. Rares are super good, okay? Rares are always going to be good. You're never going to want less rares. And then breaches opening and closing faster is also insane because most of the complaint was let's say you got a breach in the corner or something, right? And then it was a Chayubi, so you're oh, I can't really just leave even though it's scuffed. Your breach gets cut off. So now opening faster, closing faster means number one, it's more worthwhile to stay in the breach at all times. I definitely noticed this on indoor maps. So indoor maps, if you have those little corridors, might be blocked off, might be going across the map to try to get the rest of the breach. It just spawns more. It just feels like it's actually spawning more monsters as well because it's opening faster. So that's pretty sick. And then closing faster, if you guys don't know, the breaches you can't open 2 at a time. So if a breach closes faster, you can open the next breach faster. Pretty good. Those are really good nodes, pretty global nodes, because it doesn't seem like these breaches are too rare or anything. And then the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Einhard nodes. So I have 4 points here, and the rest of the 6 points I'm going to go Einhard. Now the reason I'm going to Einhard is because it's fun, it's valuable. You're going to need beasts for the later on in crafting. You might need to shift some stuff around if you're doing awakenings, harvest crafting, where you might need to jamble by clearing off a node. So you'll probably be in the best area a little bit, and it's got some fun beasts in there too if you want to try to get like a badge of brotherhood, headhunter, all these cool things. So Einhard overall is good, so that's why I'm taking this. If you look here, this is actually kind of cute. This might even turn into a whole build for some people. He does a lot of monsters, he stays with you the whole time. It's like having a friend. That's pretty nice, right? Why people happy? You have a friend with you the entire map without the downsides of group play, and hopefully it doesn't bring your FPS to 0. Okay, so why am I not taking these? Well, I don't really like Blight. Later on, the Blight, even though they can spawn faster, I just find myself, as the leagues go on and on, week after week, I find myself not touching Blights to the point where in high tier reds, 14 to 16 tiers, if a Blight doesn't have at least 7 nodes combined, or meaning it could be like a 7 node or a 6 node with an X2, or any of the bigger Blights, I won't even stay there and build the towers or let it finish. I'll just click on it. Oh, is it 7 nodes or more, right? That's just my arbitrary guideline for how many chests is worth my time, because they do take a lot of time. And so I don't like any of the Blight nodes. Now, this one right here, the Smuggler's Catch, I did a couple heists, and I'm kind of heisted out. I did so much heist and the duplicated heists and like the good heists have been changed in both better ways and worse ways. Better in the sense that masters take less time to level, it's less tedious, all the bugs are pretty much ironed out. But changing the worst ways where like you can't duplicate blueprints anymore, so that like huge currency generation is gone. And then also they've been rebalanced around like as a fresh league start, you have to do all that stuff over. Like I know how the rogue gear felt, and to gear up 10 people with all that rogue gear again, and where it felt really, really good, it's kind of daunting. It just takes a lot of time. And overall, the maps, like the Atlas this league, is insane. It's just so juicy. The rituals, it feels like you've been elevated a few weeks into the league. Like the maps feel like they would be in a week or so, right? Not like they would do at the beginning of the league where you have no juice on them and they're like kind of empty. So because of that, I find myself, I'd much rather be in a map, getting these things done rather than the heist stuff. So that's why I didn't take those. Okay, let's go. I guess I go here. Valdo's Rest. So the first 4 points for anyone playing this league, I'll just highly recommend taking this first. Okay, go 4 points in a diplomatic effort. Escort is by far the most fun. It's the coolest looking, and it's probably the best. Okay, because there's counterplay with sextants and scarabs and all kinds of juice, right? And other league mechanics too. So this one, the first 2 points, you get an extra harbinger, and they get a extra little stack of currency shards. That could be anything that they normally drop, and that's cool, right? An extra harbinger in each zone, great. Why not? Free loot, fun. Not that laggy. But then you go here. Now this is like huge lag, so be careful if your PC sucks. But when you go here, joined by reinforcements, I think it's 6. I think it's 6 harbingers total that this is. Okay, so and they're not spread out across the map, which is really good because sometimes you run past a harbinger and you're like, did I clear that harbinger? I don't really know, right? Well, this one, they all spawn at the same place. It's nuts. And yeah, it's pretty fun. You got a lot of ancient shards, you get a lot of you can get exalted shards, you can get mirror shards if you're lucky, and it's a lot of monsters in one place. So it's synergized with Beyond, synergized with the Sextant, which makes your harbingers drop even more shards. Lots and lots of good stuff to be seen in the future with this node as you juice up your mass more. So this is absolutely insane. I would say if you don't take this node to start, you're missing out on a lot of fun. Okay, it's just a lot of fun. Okay, like your dynamic resolution 100% kicks in. You're gonna be like super blurry, like 180 resolution, whatever. Okay, then next, now I thought very long and hard about this because like obviously I don't like blight, so I'm not gonna take any of the blight stuff. And my decisions are made with the thought of how much money you can make thrown in there. So blighted maps and all these things can be a lot of money early on and stuff. I've thought about that, and to me, some things aren't worth it if I don't enjoy it. So for you have to please make a distinction of like money versus your enjoyment of the game. I've always gone by the principle of if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it, right? No matter how profitable it might be. So that's why I'm going to just not even talk about this blight branch. And then this one right here is actually bad for syndicate when you're target syndicate farming. The only reason this will be good is if you are farming Katarina as fast as possible when you can. So test the loyalty. The reason I want this next is because I found myself spawning a lot of Junes, using a lot of Junes, and when it happens, going from like level 1 to 3 or going from like 0 to 2 is incredibly valuable, especially when you need to get so for just a quick betrayal, like a little betrayal tidbit, getting bad members out of the danger zone, getting good members to be instantly swapped or instantly ranked back up in case you get unlucky with like the changing of, for example, It That Fled and Varici and research, right? These little things are made so much easier by this little node and setting up your intelligence farming and your early betrayal boards and stuff. This makes it like so much easier and so smooth and really, really fun, right? So this speeds up your all the juice of betrayal, so I decided to take that. Now I have 4 points left, and what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go into repeat experiment. I'm like 90% sure, because just a chance of getting Metamorph is great, right? I love Metamorph. Metamorph synergizes in the same way that Harbinger does, is that it's an explosion of monsters targeted in one area, so synergize well with Beyond. Great amount of loot, a lot of rares, right? I've talked about before how good rares are in this league. And then if you go up here with the leftover organs, the leftover organs, you can actually make another one. And with these two nodes, like if you see like this is like 4 Metamorph samples have rewards. So even like the shitty ones, up to 4 of them in the worst case, right? Because some of them already have rewards on them naturally. out of the 4 of them will have rewards. So like the one that you build will at least have something, right? It might not be the best one you want, it might not be currency, oil, blighted map, whatever, but it'll be something. And I think that is really cool, getting double value. And then once again, when you get the mob to a certain threshold of HP, it spawns a lot of rares again. So it's not just the Metamorph, it's the thing that it spawns around it. Summon all those beyond, summon all the rares. Kind of see what the pattern that we're going for here, right? Synergies and stacking. So that's why I'm going to go there. I'll go up here, Lex Proxima. I've currently taken, okay, so I've split my thing between 2 points. That's kind of interesting, right? Because usually the 4 pointers are the OP. So first I went, I don't know how this word is pronounced, okay? Nobody knows how this word is pronounced, depending on what country you're from. This is called Shansei. And basically, every map has, I don't know how many rares, 10, 20, I don't even know, okay? But it's a lot. And this node, up to 20 of them are possessed. So it's like free magic find on everything. That is a little bit harder, sure. But a cool thing about this is like you'll notice the overall loot generation, right? Monsters Eaters of Sea, which is kind of nice in some maps. And also, there are times when there's like a ghost that inhabits that like causes like a bigger loot explosion, like a currency explosion or something. I don't know what it is. I haven't looked at the wiki for ghosts and the types, but let me tell you, when that loot explosion happens because of the ghost, you're like, wow, this feels good picking up all this loot, okay? Depending on the strictness of your filter. When your filter's too strict, you might not even notice it. But for me, I was like, okay, I know that ghosts are here. And it's really cool when an affix makes you look at a map and go, I know exactly where this map is. It's in Lex Proxima. I know exactly the node that is causing me to notice all these crazy things happening, okay? That's a really cool experience in PoE to do something and feel it, okay? I've always talked about it on builds where when you take a skill point, let's say you level up and you take a skill point, it says 10% increased damage done. You take that point, you're never going to notice that. Your characters feel exactly the same as before you leveled up. That sucks, right? You spend, let's say you spend half a mirror on a build, and it performs the same as your other build that was 5 exalts, right? You're like, oh, why did I do that? And so it's really, really nice that Grinding Gear has added things that we can progress through that like you really know that is affecting the map. Okay, that's super cool for me. After these two, this is what I'll take first. And next I took this because once again, same exact reasons for the breach down here. You can just rewatch that part if you want to know why I took this. I mean, XP is fantastic. The area effect is awesome. And the monster density, nothing to say there, right? More XP as well and more rewards. So after that, I took Battleful Harvest. Now, there is a choice between Delve. I'm not going to talk about Delve because I'm not going to delve past getting my recipes from the Primeval Ruins, the Abyssal Depths, and the Whale Outposts, which as of right now I'm at monster level 74. I've only found a Whale Outpost recipe, but I will be getting the other ones, and it is nice, like Atlas Sustain if you're struggling a little bit, which you should in this league, but Delve is still okay to get to level 83, because like let's say you can't do 83 maps because they're too crazy. An 83 monster level in the Delve will be the same amount of experience, if not more, for you, because you just click on a node and you go, and the monsters are once again item level 80. Sorry, monster level 83. Okay, so good for like easy early character XP, especially for new characters. And but I don't really like delving, so I will not be taking any of these points. I don't want to spend any more time in there than necessary, or that let's say I find a city or something that I go after the good nodes. So I won't do that. Now, the reason I won't take this initially is because I don't think that doubling the splinters when 4 of the breach lords usually have their splinters hidden later on. That's not very good. A 5% chance to drop a breach stone is not a very good chance, actually. 100% increased chance to be a boss is okay, I guess. If you get the good splinter one, which is either like Chayubi or a very rare instance of Yu Nito, depending on the league. And so I was like, not that great, right? So for 2 points, I don't want it to be kind of like, if it would feel kind of wasted to me. Now, if you go up here and you have some more breach spawn rate, but you have these breach stones, I talked about this in my previous video. You don't want a bricked charger enriched when you want a regular one to upgrade into the pure for more money, or when you run it, you're guaranteed the blessing and a piece of loot and other things, other intangibles where it's like higher item level or higher monster level, right? So that's why it's like, yeah, it's kind of questionable, right? So that's why I'm not going to take this. I might try it out later, but for now, I believe that this is your best third option. And the reason is when you go in, the way you're making your decisions on these crops, no matter if you have like 2, 3, or 4 crops in there to choose from, is I look at the monster type and the reward it gives me. So for example, Thornweaver's very, very popular. Maybe some Primal Rexes, maybe some Bristleback Matrons, one of my personal favorites. Maybe you get a what's it called? The level 4 blue beast, right? You're making decisions purely on this. I don't believe that anybody's going in there and just wanting random crafts thrown at them so they can in their 10 Hori bench, which is a little bit too low, I think. Choose like, oh, I want more Weetas, Maws, and Roas, right? No one really does that. So because of that, having another harvest to choose between is not as focus fired as I like it to be. Now, obviously, doubling item quantity and rarity, that's fine, but like usually they don't drop that much loot from what I've seen. So doubling, the old meme, if you double 0, it's still 0, right? So I didn't really like this one, and because I didn't want to wait for a 4-noter, because the 4-note was pretty bad, by the way, but I just didn't want to take this. So this one right here is bad because I don't want a Heart of Growth. Okay, Oshabi's items are straight garbage. There's no more flowers in the garden anyways, so that was a big draw of killing her. And then also the Unchosen Crop, not to go, is 10% chance. That's a really, really low chance. And most of the time you're choosing the plot that has that one beast that you want anyways. So I thought that this wasn't a very good use of my time or RNG, so I decided to go with this, because this one right here, you still get a little bit of chance to spawn the grove, and this one is XP is great for the same reasons that I mentioned in the breach here and here. And also the harvest, you're looking at a 50% chance to spawn an additional monster. So and that's harvested plants, which means you see a Thornweaver, 50% chance at 2. You see a tier 4 one, 50% at 2. Vulture, right? The yellow vulture for the scarabs, 50% chance at 50% is very, very high, if you don't know. And that is also going to be way more reliable, because on every plot that you pick for the beast, the targeted beast, 50% chance. Okay, so how many points do I have left then? 4. With those 4 points, what I'm probably going to do is I might try out either Within Their Grasp or the Heart of the Grove. Okay, most likely I'll just go down here, right? Because like this is it really depends on which one I feel like is spawning more. Honestly, right now I feel like Breach is spawning more, and I feel like like in my opinion, when I'm using scarabs, I would much more default to a Breach scarab than anything else, because Breach scarabs now is kind of OP. So I might try out this, right, just to see how it feels, how many brickstones I get, or whatever. It should be nice. But if I find that Harvest is spawning a lot more as I get into the red maps, a quick little note for newer players, that is this is like their like theme, their like logic between the game development of risk versus reward. As you go up in tiers, a T16 map will have much more rewards overall on average than a tier 5. Okay, and what I mean by that is like your Cassies will have more lanes and more chests on average. I'm not talking about item level or anything, but like your spawns of any league mechanic, Legion, Breach, any of these things will be escalated. Okay, even like things like Heist, where the higher maps had a better chance of spawning higher level of the contracts, even though the type of contracts was random. These have been categorically true across the board. So what I mean is that as you go higher in tiers, we'll have to look at, is this still true for this league? Because they've given us so much stuff this league that they might be breaking that mold. They want everyone to be a winner, stuff like that. With the ritual stuff, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference on the higher tiers than the lowers. Maybe I'm getting more exalts, I think, maybe. But if that holds true, then I want to see, like, at the highest tiers, 14 to 16 maps that I'm spam running, which one seems like it's happening more. If I feel that Harvest is happening more, I'm gonna go down here. If I feel like Breach is happening more, or I'm using more Breach scarabs, I'm gonna go up here. Okay, so that's that one. Did I talk about this? Okay, here. This one's actually really, so this one's probably gonna be my favorite area, actually. So you guys know I love consistency in terms of, like, I love jambling too, but in consistency as in, like, every map, I want the juice. I want it to be there most of the time. So when I take this, right, I can influence my first 4 points. I only have 2 points in this region because I'm bad at the game, but when I get 4 points, it's going directly into Friend of the Family, because I can influence that both by RNG through this node, or a Piranha Scarab is a 33% chance to spawn a Kadibro. It is historically one of the cheapest scarabs you can find. Okay, you can look at PoE Antiquary, PoE Ninja, whatever, and look at the price of the scarab, and all you need is a rusted, because a rusted is 33. I mean, you could buy polished, but harder to get, and rusted brings you to 33 plus 20. What was the spawn chance here? 20%, right? So 53% chance to spawn a Kadibro. I think that's good enough, and you're getting pretty much 5 times the Kadira, because most of the time you wouldn't buy the thing from Kadira, right? So this is like you have 5 of them and it picks the most rare one, which is, so you're basically getting like it's 5 times faster, okay, to your Shavs, Headhunter, Badge of the Brotherhood, etc. I think this is going to be one of the most overpowered nodes in the entire game. I have data from some Chinese friends who used to do like some data mining, some like data driven farming, and they've told me the rates on some of these things, and Prandis is by far the node you should first go for. Even if you don't like Prandis, because it's a one click, you can buy the 30,000 coins needed. Well, probably like around with this discount, maybe like 27,000 coins. Or sorry, 24,000 coins, because a mirror or a headhunter will usually be around like probably like 25 to 30,000. The ones that I've bought from Kadira, which is quite a few, I usually around like the 27,000 range. So you can just straight up buy these coins from the trade site and just sit on them until you need it. So you don't actually need to pick up any coins if you don't like to, because people hate picking up coins. So if you get this, it's going to reward you. Think of the mid-range items that are between 20 and 50 C, something around there, and think of how often you're getting them before from him, and now 5, the rares of 5, pretty nuts. So I would take these for, without a doubt, every single time on your characters as the first thing. Okay, you really, really want this. Just trust me on this, okay? And it's really fun, in my opinion. So the next, I have 6 points left, and what they're going to go into is 2 is going to go to Rogue Metamorph. This is already assigned. It's already chosen the rewards. There's no work from you. It's just there. You kill it, it can spawn rares, and then rewards and whatever the rares drop and the monsters are going to drop, right? It really juices you up. And then also synergy with other map mods. That's 6. And then the other 4, I don't think that like okay, so I don't think that this is too easy early on. So I would kind of wait on this because it's kind of scary, right? Early on, especially if your build is bad. But with my other 4 points, I was thinking I'm not going to go Alba, right? Because I can take my Alba into that other region later on if I want to run my missions. I'm not going to take this Whale Flesh Merchant, although people have told me that this is like, maybe between 1 and 3 C for an area that has 3 incursions in it, because it's just a guy that drops currency, I guess. It has to be currency. And then Delirium's always good. I mean, this one is really crazy if it procs, but 15% chance when you get a Delirium mirror is extremely low. And I don't know how often I'm going to have Delirium mirrors right now. So I don't know if I'll take this right away. So I think I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 4 points. I would go either 1, 2, 3, 4 if you like Delirium, or I would go 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's kind of like how I would do it. And you can kind of switch it up. If you don't like Delirium, you find that you're not getting enough Delirium, then just put it into here so that when you run your Albas or you get a random Alba, you can get a little bit of currency, and people like exalts and stuff. So that's how it is there. All right, let's go down here. So this is New Vestir, and New Vestir, what I'm doing is Sergeants first. Okay, I only have 2 points here because I'm leapfrogging around the middle right now. This one is really good. Sergeants are basically like kind of like the bigger mobs in the zone. They're a little bit harder to kill, and if there's additional 3 every single time with rewards, you can think of it like kind of like 3 blight chests or something like that have like the reward icon on them. So like uniques, currency, weapons, armor, all that good stuff. This makes a huge difference actually, because if you don't have this yet, there's gonna be legions that you open where you look around and you're like, I don't see that many reward icons, right? So pay attention to this. And so, especially in closed off areas where half the legion is cut off, and I believe it forces these spawns. So when you spawn these things, you're getting 3 guaranteed reward tiles. Okay, and that's really, really strong. It's good consistency, especially, and you can guarantee the smoothness of this by using Legion Scarabs, right? Which guarantee a legion in there, and that's sometimes you get 2. So this is just like super good, I think. And then also you have to think about like the other thing about like when will this be active? Like how much harder does this make the map, right? And it doesn't really make the map that much harder at all. And yeah, so that's why I think this is like really, really good. I have 8 more points here. Okay, so the other ones are Rogue Exiles. You have Abyss. Now I don't like Abyss actually. I was thinking about this and I was like, a few weeks in, if the Abyss goes the other way, like it goes backwards in the map, and I don't need to go back there for a ritual, I'm just not going to do it, right? So Same thing with Blight. Okay, so Abyss and Blight are kind of the same in my mind. I don't want to zone into an Abyssal Depths no matter how rewarding and lose all my buffs and have to zone out. Lich fight takes forever because it's phase. Nobody likes phase fights. Okay, Silo, amazing map, but phase fight at the end, kind of sedge. Okay, so I would take and I don't delve, right? So I'm kind of limited in my options here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the right side nodes because like I don't like these left side nodes. So Legion, I'll probably do Legion first because it's like Exiles is kind of like boring. So just Legion first, then Exiles, right? Very simple thing here, but definitely take this first. This one, okay. So I took Beyond first to see how it felt with all the mobs and rituals, and it feels good. It's really scary, die sometimes, but the Beyond adds a lot of monsters, and then that merging radius, when you get a Beyond map, Beyond Sexton, whatever, it's gonna be crazy. So you don't have to take this first. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it because you don't have that much juice to do, but I just want to try it. So these 4, and then what other 6, right? What I'm personally gonna do is I'm gonna take the album missions because I think it's really cool when you look at your missions right here, right? And in the past, think about how many you had. And album missions are strong because with these nodes, you are getting the actual room. There's gonna be much less frustration with getting the rooms you want, even if it's not the perfect. Like you might not get a corruption chamber every time, but you're gonna get something every time. You're gonna get a tier 3 Wealth of the Whale, a Museum of Artifacts, hell, even a poison room is insane because if you get a tier 3 poison room, it adds the worm barrels to all the rooms. You get a torment room, which you might be like, yo, torment room sucks. Well, torment adds every boss is infested with a ghost. And that's what this does, but to rares. So that's insane. So you will get huge juice out of your temples. And another thing is like putting temples on your good maps was bad, right? Like sometimes because you were like, oh, it takes so long. Like the loot is so good with Delirium Mirror is so good, but oh man, it takes so long. Super annoying. I clear the map with all the juice, super laggy. All the loot spills on the ground. I can't pick out all the loot's getting deleted because there's too much loot. Okay, now here's what you do, right? What you do is because let's say you're farming barrow chambers, right? You want to put on something else. So you save all your album missions and you only run them in this zone. And because you know that these are based off of what's it called? They're based off of the rooms and the temple in the future that you'll run, not on the map itself. You can use burners, right? Do you remember like when we were speed spawning Cyrus? Like you try to get like really low Cyrus time. Well, you burn those maps and you don't care about those maps. You don't have to roll them. You just put it in there. Boom, you're done. You're farming a temple with like trash maps and you don't feel bad about it. And it's very focused, very fast. Okay, I love that. So that's what I'm gonna take. And the other 2 is between an extra strongbox in every single area or chance for Legion counter. Now, Legion is just like so good that I would put it in these 2. Now, let's say you don't like Alba. You're never gonna run Alba, then obviously just go in all those 4 points into the Legion. Now, if you were going to run Albus in this zone because you really like a high tier 14 to 16 map in here, you could also go this, right, instead of this because it's more consistent. Because if every monster's magic, man, that's a lot. That's a ton of gem XP and character XP, and it's really fun and loot at the end. Okay, so lots of things you could do here. Next, we have Tiered Zen. Now, I put points into here and here. So 4 points in Greater Forces because, it's just good for splinters, good for rewards. And then 2 points into here. Now, you might be wondering, right? You're like, wait a minute. Why would you go Invasion? Because in my last video, I was kind of laughing about Invasion. Well, here's why. So Einhar is pretty good, right? But they nerfed this node. This node is not what it used to be. This node used to be, it was like all the mobs are like replaced. All the packs of mobs were replaced with red beasts, but now it's 5% chance for to contain an additional pack of beasts instead of monsters in a pack. It's so bad. It's not so bad. It's actually very good, but like it's nothing like it was. So that kind of like makes me sad. And 50%. It's like kind of RNG, So I'm not gonna go this. And what I'm gonna go is I'm gonna go for consistency. And I'm going to go for the this thing right here. I think this is going to be Sleeper OP. We don't really know what a valuable item is, but it's not going to be just like, an armor scrap. So if you get a Sextant that you can synergize with this with an invasion boss, you don't need to reroll that Sextant anymore. And you get 2 invasion bosses with valuable items every, not every single map because of Sextant, but in every map you have 1 invasion boss that drops a valuable item every single time. No questions asked. Amazing, right? And that's going to be really good. I don't like Abyss. Thinking more into it, it's so good, this Abyss thing, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and with my 2 extra points, I'm gonna go into Delirium Fog. Because there are, you might not need this if you think about it. Like 5% stack size of splinters is pretty good, but if you look at this one, right, it doesn't actually do anything. Like you don't get any character power, you don't get any loot, you don't get any magic find basically. But there are maps where it's gonna be pretty bad. So think about like Tower or something. I mean, it's not in this zone, right? But think about maps where let me just like mouse over one. Like Factory and Temple, right? Where you might not be going the right way that the fog is going, and that's not your fault. You're just like following the flow of the map, or you're following some abyss, you're following some ritual, and for no fault of your own, the fog can just start to disappear, and you can't get back into the area where it is disappearing from. This is extremely noticeable in Tower and other maps that are disjointed like that, sometimes malformation. So what this does is it smooths it, and you're less frustrated about losing the fog. Okay, so when you use a delirium orb, you're not like, oh man, I lost my delirium orb that I paid like 10, 20 C for or whatever. So I think that's cool. But if you don't want this and you feel like you're under control, let's say you're running something like Tropical Island or whatever map in here that's like super easy, impossible to leave the fog, then you don't need to take this. And then these 2 points you can put into like the beaster here. But I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2 here. Okay, I might change this later depending on how many mirrors I get. And then last we have the Haywark Hamlet here. And let's see what we have here. I think I've only taken 2 points here, right? So I took the Grove's Call. Now, if we're gonna look at Beyond, okay, so Beyond Portals right here is these first 2 points. I would have taken this actually. I would have taken this for when I run Beyond in this area, but it's 4 points. So my first 2 months, I was like, I get nothing out of this because first of all, 10% chance to spawn additional Beyond Demon when they KG it. It's like kind of low. And then this one right here, if the rare monsters spawn additional Beyond, the rare monsters can be very, very far apart. We don't have tear the veil or whatever. So if they're far apart, it does nothing. And a unique boss at the end of the map, you kill the boss, 5 Beyond Portals. Okay, they might spawn something, but it's like a little bit. It's kind of lame. It's kind of like the Beyond Prophecy more than Beyond the Affix. So I decided I'd take that first. Now, if you look here, right, there's extra chance right here, and once you get up here, right, for rares to have a chance to drop additional basic currency item, that's kind of like a third of a Nemesis 3 currency. It's like a Nemesis 1 currency, right? And that's badass. So I'm gonna take that later when I'm running Beyond in this area, if I like a map in this area and I don't run Barrow Chambers. So, but for now, I took this because chance to get the Grove. I need crafts. I want to see. I want to have that Harvest Juice again. So I have 10 points, right? I would Essence. Okay, dude. You're not gonna take Essence and June missions. I love June missions. However, it's kind of weird because if I'm gonna run June missions, I'm 100% gonna run them in this region with this test of loyalty. Okay, I'll never run a June mission in this region. Like if I get a random spawn, great, but I'm gonna focus fire my Junes all in here because I know how insane this is. And yeah, so I'm not gonna take the Junes here. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, and I'm probably gonna take all. I'm gonna take all 6 of these and all 4 of these. That's probably what I'm gonna take. Okay. And with that, that is my reasoning and like my changed picks and order from my last video. And once again, this is a early video, so things could change. And I'll try to provide an image of these once I get 10 points in every region. So if you don't care about, for people that in my channel that don't care about like videos, they can just look at the image and copy blindly or whatever. Okay. So that's the video. If you guys have any more questions, stream every day, usually in the evenings into the early AM on twitch.tv/qdog_. And yeah, and maybe, any questions. I don't really respond to YouTube comments because I don't really get them on my phone, or like it's like kind of, I don't have that much time. But yeah, just ask whatever you want on my stream. And yeah. Okay, thanks for watching my video. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.